Well, back at Madison Square Garden, we are set for the introduction of the starting lineups. Let's go to the public address voice of Knicks basketball. Here is Mike Walczewski.
Go, Bobby, go.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. Today's round 2 Eastern Conference semifinal game features the Chicago Bulls and your New York Knicks. Here are today's starting lineups. First for Chicago. At guard at 6'2" from Notre Dame, number 5, John Paxson. At guard at 6'6" from North Carolina, number 23, Michael Jordan. At forward at 6'7" from Central Arkansas, number 33, Scottie Pippen. At forward at 6'10" from Clemson, number 54, Horace Grant. And at center at 7'1" from San Francisco, number 24, Bill Cartwright. The head coach of the Bulls, Phil Jackson. And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard at 6'3" from St. John's, number 13, Mark Jackson. At guard at 6'6" from Tennessee Chattanooga, number 21, Gerald Wilkins. At forward at 6'8" from Wichita State, number 32, Xavier McDaniel. At forward at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, Charles Oakley. And at center at 7 feet from Georgetown, number 33, Patrick Ewing. The head coach of the Knicks, Pat Riley. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please all rise for the presentation of colors by the New York Army National Guard. And to sing the national anthem this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our special guest, Columbia recording artist, 2-time Grammy winner, Michael Bolton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. On the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets red glare, their bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors, that star-spangled banner yet wave, on the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Big finish from 2-time Grammy winner Michael Bolton, a local area product, and it's only fitting that we make the transition from one heartthrob to another. Here's Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Marv. I talked to Michael Jordan about his lack of dunks and his lack of driving to the hole. And he said, you know, there's two reasons why I have not gone in the paint trying to dunk. One named Ewing, the other named Oakley. Makes sense to me. Last week I reported that Pippen and Jordan called Oakley to encourage him to beat Detroit. They did. Then Lambeer, after the game, encouraged the Knicks to beat the Bulls. They did. Well, today I found out there have been no phone calls to the locker room, so I guess that these two teams will just have to find the inspiration from among themselves. And with this crowd and the way it is here today, they'll have no problem doing that. Marv?
All right, Ahmad. And the officials are Darryl Garrettson, Bob Delaney, and Steve Javy. And you get the feeling that to set the tone early, as we saw in Game 1 in Chicago, we could have a flagrant foul called right at the start just to settle things down should the Knicks come out in physical fashion once again.
Well, speaking to the head of officials, Darryl Garrettson, who's on this game, he felt that the key thing that they will be watching for early are the defensive rotations by both teams. Both of these teams do an excellent job of trapping and rotating or pre-rotating. And are they legal or illegal? Darryl, after viewing films of their last series, felt that both these teams do a great job of getting where they're supposed to be and being legal defensively.
So we are set for Game 3 of the best-of-7 Eastern Conference semifinal series. Game 4 tomorrow night, 6:30 Eastern time here at the Garden, and we'll have it for you as part of our special NBA triple header coverage tomorrow. Patrick Ewing and Bill Cartwright on the opening tip. And Darryl Garrettson from his outside position says do it again. It was not a good toss.
Both centers trying to gain an edge, get it just before the other guy gets to it, and sometimes that's where you have a quick jump and a violation.
Mark Jackson in the starting lineup once again, despite the bruised hip and 2 bruised thighs. Charles Oakley says he's all right, although he's playing with a hip problem. And as we told you on Showtime, Scottie Pippen still suffering with the sprained ankle. Jordan picked up on a double team, and he's forced into a travel.
That time, New York took Michael Jordan, sent him to the baseline, which is very dangerous because Jordan is terrific around the rim. But Ewing makes the big rotation, seals off the baseline drive, and then there's the travel.
Jackson and Wilkins at the guards. Ewing, McDaniel, and Oakley up front. Double team of Ewing right at the start. Here's Jackson. Yes. And the Knicks lead 2-0.
That time, Mark Jackson didn't just catch it and look for the jumper. He caught it, put it on the floor, one dribble, got inside the defense, improved the range on the shot, and knocked out the little floater.
Jordan and Paxson in the backcourt. Pippen up front with Grant and Cartwright. Grant is stopped and fouled. Foul committed by Oakley.
Well, I wouldn't say it's even close to a flagrant foul, but I would also say that he wasn't trying to blow him a kiss on this one. He obviously sent the message here that if it's going to be a layup, you're going to have to make a tough one.
Charles Oakley, one-time Chicago Bull, who was acquired in the trade for Bill Cartwright, committing the foul. And here is Horace Grant, who has not been able to get going in this series. Our shooting only 43%. Last year in the Bulls' run to the championship, he was one of the keys. He had a sensational serve.
And immediately after the free throw, Chicago goes into its full court press, trying to force turnovers. They forced 23 of them in game number 2. They want to try and make the Knicks big people bring it up the floor. And there is turnover number 1.
Yes, that a major concern of Pat Riley, who counted, as he put it, 14 unenforced turnovers. Scottie Pippen. So a good sign for the Bulls as Pippen is able to hit on his first field goal attempt. The Bulls lead it by the score 4-2. And again, the trap. Now in the past, Mike, the Bulls would turn it on and off, and they've been very successful against the Knicks. They've forced Charles Oakley to handle the ball. Wilkins to the scoop. And he's tied the game at 4.
And Chicago inbounded the ball quickly right up the sideline with Michael Jordan. They want to establish an up-tempo game at both ends of the floor.
Good look from Jordan. Grant with the recovery. Here's Cartwright hitting on the reverse. The Bulls 6 and the Knicks 4.
I think you'll see New York trying to get the ball into Mark Jackson's hands quickly after a score to try and eliminate that double team by Chicago without the basketball so that they have to pass it to someone else to get it up court.
And Pippen looking a bit more active as he deflects it to the crowd.
Yeah, he's already up and out in a passing lane, causing that deflection.
Phil Jackson upset with his ball club. I'm told, related to them, it's all on you guys. I can do only so much from the coaching point of view. You want this one. Basically, you do it by yourself. At a three-point attempt, rebounded by McDaniel, and he's tied the game at 6.
And what Phil is trying to say there is there's only so much you can do X and O wise. If you don't come out and play with the motivation, the aggression that you need in this type of series in the playoffs, then you're going to go home early.
Wilkins has played Jordan well here in the opening minutes. Grant rejected by Ewing. Bulls able to get back. And the Knicks will reset. Ewing facing single coverage. Rebounded by Oakley. Jackson. And Jordan extends for the rebound.
It's one of the few times they've been able to rebound and get it out quickly, but then at the offensive end, the turnover. That's been one of the keys to slowing down the Chicago fast break, is that none of the rebounds seem to come easy. There's always a Knick guy hanging around, getting a hand on it, bumping a body, knocking them off balance. They felt it today. They had a rebound, clean, and then get it out quickly.
Wilkins works off the pick. Gives it back to Jackson. Yes. The Knicks 8. The Bulls 6.
When you get both guards inside the free throw line, like just happened with New York, and you have your big people on the glass, if you don't make a shot, Chicago's going to be running out at the other end, getting fast break scores.
Cartwright given the room, and he's tied the game at 8. The Bulls love to get Cartwright involved early. Here's the pressure as Grant comes back to help. Knicks this time had no trouble with it. The Bulls very successful in doubling up on Mark Jackson on Thursday night in Chicago as a steal by Pippen. And here comes Pippen. He lost the grip, but he was fouled by McDaniel.
At the offensive end of the floor, a problem that New York faced in Game 2 once again. Using up too much time on the 24-second clock before they finally get into their half-court set, and then the inability to feed the post. Patrick Ewing a number of times in Game 2, wide open. They either bypassed him, reversed the ball before he got there, or couldn't get into it because Chicago does not respect the perimeter shooting of the New York Knicks. They back off the potential perimeter guys, outside shooters, and make it tough to get the ball into Patrick Ewing. Not that they don't want to, it's just tough to get it there.
And that has been the Knick problem all season long. Lack of respect for the outside shooting game. May recall during the time leading up to the trade deadline, there was all kinds of speculation. The Knicks were looking for an outside shooter, but they did not pull off a deal, and that will be among their major needs next season.
There's no question that without Paxson, Jordan, and Pippen having the ability to knock out outside shots, they would not be the world champions.
Bulls with a 2-point lead. And Steve Javy with the foul call. It's a hold. Charge to Paxson. That's his first.
Gerald Wilkins is showing a little confidence. His level of play here up a little bit, taking it initially early to the basket, trying to make some things happen, trying to take some of the pressure off of Patrick Ewing.
Gerald Wilkins last Sunday in Game 5 against Detroit had a very poor first half, and then heard the boos from the crowd, made some obscene gestures in the direction of the Garden crowd, and then was able to turn it around and was one of the heroes in the Knick drive against the Pistons. But he has had his shooting problems, as you can see, only 36% from the field, and his foul shooting has gone down this season.
you probably want me to mention that you said the 2 free throws that he made in that game were going to turn around his problems, and I'll admit it, it did turn around for a moment.
Mike, I would never bring that up.
Oh, okay.
That's just in the past.